Our school's mission statement states, Long Trail School creates lifelong learners who aspire to reach their individual potential in an engaging and supportive community. This mission statement was written by the Long Trail faculty and staff, and as I look across this stage, I feel that they have certainly done their job. I would like to ask that we now recognize our outstanding faculty and staff. Thank you. One of the traditions at Long Trail is also to recognize faculty is that as they hit their 10, 50, 20, 25, in the case of Courtney Callow, 30 years. We're going to save her for next year and do a much bigger blow up just for you, Courtney. Where's Courtney? I know. There she is, back in the corner. Okay, so let's have those recognitions now. First, Scott McGrath, 10 years. Come on up, Scott. Secondly, Colin Theory, 20 years. Colin? "25 years, Kim Rizzio. Your days ahead will continue to be ones of learning and challenges. Remember, as one of Long Trail's core beliefs, learning how to think is more important than what to think. You have the tools to make good decisions. Use those tools well, and the opportunities ahead of you will be many. Congratulations again. It's my privilege to introduce Andrea Ross, who is the Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees of Long Trail School. Andrea?
As I stand here in front of you, I can't help remembering when my 8th grader stood at this podium giving her graduation speech, and she seemed way more calm and confident than I feel right here standing. So, for that, I want to thank you all for being here and welcome you to the 42nd graduation of the Long Trail School. The first class of graduates in 1976, all 2 of them, began this wonderful tradition that we are part of today. For 41 years, Long Trail School has been launching bright and compassionate students out into our world. All of us here are very aware of the uniqueness of this small independent school nestled in this beautiful Vermont Valley and its mission to educate our students in heart and in mind. Long Trail School is a place that embraces and celebrates each individual student, but what has always been most noticeable to me is the passion and enthusiasm that is collectively pervasive in this school. Whether you are a timid 6th grader, a very cool 8th grader, an overwhelmed junior, or a confident senior, you're all swirled into this family with acceptance and respect, forgiveness and support. And what is created is a community filled with passion and strength and peace. Those graduates here today, the exceptional class of 2017, are the quintessential products of this environment. And they leave here with so much more than diplomas. They go off into a world not only having been taught how to think, but more importantly, how to lead by action and by intent and by example with integrity, kindness of spirit, openness, social responsibility, and stewardship. Imagine for a moment a world where everyone graduated from Long Trail School. There are many here today that share in the responsibility to ensure that Long Trail School is and continues to be an extraordinary place. We are blessed with an outstanding head of school, Stephen Deere, an incredible faculty, and a board of trustees who tirelessly support the mission of this school. The members of the Board of Trustees, past and present, serve quietly and invisibly to ensure that the excellence of the Long Trail School community is cultivated for its current students and sustained for all of those who have the opportunity to be educated here in the many years to come. I would like to pause and thank all of the trustees who are here today and ask them to stand and be thanked. And finally, I want to congratulate all of this class of 2017. And I'm going to entrust each of you, to take all that you have learned and become here at the Long Trail School and share it with all of the communities that you will be a part of in all of your futures. Spread it. Thank you.
Our next musical performance is Tank, being performed by the IB Music Ensemble. You guys are just on point. Each year we have our annual awards to recognize citizens for different reasons within our community. I would like to start by asking Ashley Maines of class of 2017 to come out and give the Barb West Award. Ashley?
Student Council Barb West Award is given to the student, outstanding adult, rather, in the Long Trail community that does exceptional work during the year, which follows the mission of the school. I'm happy to present this award to my fellow graduate, Brennan Murphy.
Our next award will be given by Aisha Navarette, class of 2019, and that's the Debbie Brown Award. Aisha?
Nominated for the Debbie Brown Award take great pride in being part of the Long Trail community. The nominees strive to be positively represent, promote, and support the mission of Long Trail School. The recipient of the award exemplifies the exceptional qualities that Debbie demonstrated, which include leadership, contagious enthusiasm, loyal friendship, and selfless participation in the school and their community. I can't think of a better recipient for this 2017 Debbie Brown Award. I am so thrilled and honored to present this to my favorite neighbor, Sean Bottoms.
Our next award is the Pay It Forward Award, and unfortunately, our student Eli Sanderson is ill today, so we've asked Beth Bovey, our dean of the upper school, to come in and speak for the student life representative. Beth?
Thanks, Ben.
Welcome. I'm honored to be able to announce the recipient of the Pay It Forward Forbes Award. This is given to a student who takes great pride in living the core values of Long Trail School: integrity, kindness of spirit, openness, social responsibility, and stewardship. This year's recipient is Val Giese.
Our next award is given in recognition of our founders, Dave and Rennie Wilson. I'd like to ask Dave if he's here to stand up. Dave, where are you? I saw him over there. There he is. There he is. I'd like to ask Kim Rizzio if she would come up and give this next award. Kim?
The Dave and Reen Wilson Award is given by the school's National Honor Society chapter. This award recognizes a graduating senior who has significantly added to the school community and who has embraced the spirit of Long Trail School. Nava, will you join me, please? Nurturing a sense of self and the ability to vocalize one's ideas is a hallmark of this school. Since its founding, Long Trail has encouraged and supported students to share their opinions and insights about the world around them. This year's recipient has found both creative and powerful ways to do just that. She reinvigorated the school newspaper by rallying others to submit their writings and art to be published. Her efforts to collect and collate the voices of her schoolmates resulted in a publication which significantly enhanced our school atmosphere. Another way in which she inspired others to speak up was through her organization of Students for School Choice. Rallying her peers as well as their family and friends to express their desire to retain school choice in Vermont, the student spoke her mind and shared her heart. Her actions have and will continue to resonate for the benefit of those who love Long Trail. Congratulations, Nava.
Our next award is named after someone that I never met, but I feel like I know. Since my first days at Long Trail, back on the board in 2007, I heard of an amazing lady by the name of Dorothy Pierce, but really a special person. I only wish I could have the opportunity to have met her. The 2016 recipient is Colin Theory, and we've asked if she'll come up and announce this year's winner. Colin?
Good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations to the class of 2017. The Dorothy Pierce Faculty Prize is given each year to a teacher who shows a commitment to intellectual curiosity and education, and who also demonstrates creative and inspirational teaching. The recipient reflects Dorothy Pierce's lifelong dedication to educating students and implementing best practices in teaching. Dorothy came out of retirement to become Long Trail's Dean of Faculty and Academics from 1998 to 2003, and sadly, she passed away in 2011. This prize was established in her honor by her longtime partner, Peter Henry. This prize was, Dorothy was a close friend, so I might try to stay composed here. Dorothy was a mentor to me and other LTS faculty members. Her love of education and her often astonishing work ethic left a beautiful legacy at Long Trail. Many of our exceptional programs are here because of the work of Dorothy Pierce. As last year's recipient, I am extremely honored to present this award to the inspiring teacher who was chosen by their fellow faculty members this year. This teacher has been described as a Renaissance person and an educator who solves problems using ingenuity as well as good old-fashioned perseverance. Instead of resorting to purchasing a tool, this teacher will design and create what they need to fix anything. They convey this can-do attitude to the students by encouraging them to find alternative methods to express themselves artistically. Under this teacher's guidance, students take creative risks and push themselves through projects to reach a higher level of skill. In addition to their work with students, this teacher is a model for a balanced life, living a life of sustainability, growing vegetables, raising chickens and pigs, using solar power, and even carpooling to work. What a concept. In their personal art-making practice, this teacher uses materials from the earth, clay, marble, and stone. This work enriches their practice as a teacher and a coach and demonstrates the importance of connecting mind, body, and spirit to achieve goals in life. This teacher is kind, compassionate, open-minded, a great dancer, a talented artist, and a loving husband and father. This teacher inspires all of us at Long Trail. As Alex Ramsvik told me, and this is in quote, "From my first day teaching at Long Trail, I have looked up to this teacher as an educator. Their relaxed demeanor, passion for their craft, and rapport with the students sets a standard for us all. Long Trail is lucky to have this teacher, and I couldn't be happier that he's been selected for this award. Also, it's always good to have someone on staff who speaks Swedish and is a great floor hockey player." I am happy to announce that Håkan Brazen is the next recipient.
This next award is the Citizen of the Year Award. The Citizen of the Year Award is given by the leadership team of the school, which is made up of the Dean of Faculty and Academics, the Director of Student Life, the Director of Support Services, Director of Philanthropy, Director of Admissions, the Business Manager, Director of Marketing and LT Studies, as well as the Head of Operations and Facilities, and myself. You know, each year when in my 5 years being here, we've always talked a lot, thrown names back around a bunch, and this year it seemed that there were once again a number of great candidates. But we also felt this year that there was one other individual that truly stood out. This award is given for outstanding adult in the Long Trail community that does exceptional work during the year, which follows the mission of the school. This lady, in my time being here, is always available. I can never remember her saying no to anything that we've asked of her. She is a great family member, not only of our community, but many of our students. And I say that because she actually houses a number of our international students. When Mark and Margaret at Chesney, who we all love, are not available for one reason or another to come and cook for our kids, we call her and she always says, "I'll be right over." She co-heads our Friends of the Athletics program and has done an amazing job this year in terms of earning funds for future events and plans for our athletic program. What else can you say about somebody this special but say congratulations to Deb Sheldon? As I always say to the faculty, I try not to get emotional, but I tell you what, she's one special lady. Thank you. Next up, it's a musical performance. She's Leaving Home, written by Patrick Staples and performed by Jonah Knapp and Patrick. Guys, come on up.
Actually Paul McCartney, but he gave us the okay to go for it. Okay, vocals in the tempo. Yes, okay.
Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock as the day begins. Silently closing her bedroom door, leaving the note that she'd hoped would say more. She goes downstairs to the kitchen, clutching her handkerchief, quietly turning the back door key. Stepping outside, she's free. She gave her most of our life, is leaving, sacrificed most of our life.
Hello, everyone. A few weeks ago, I woke up in the middle of the night, panicked, fully convinced that it was the morning of my high school graduation, and I had yet to write my speech. I can assure you that this is not the case as I stand here today with my speech printed before my eyes. However, I did miss the deadline for this speech, just as I've missed many, 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 many other deadlines for countless assignments here at Long Trail, most notably in my senior year. You'd think that eventually I'd heed the advice of my grandfather to work smarter, not harder, and get my work done in a timely fashion. While I can't apologize for my extreme levels of procrastination, I'd like to take this moment to thank my teachers for putting up with me over the years, as well as my poor time management skills. Aside from the humor surrounding my days here as a student, I'd like to recognize the irony of my senior year occurring within my golden year, when I turned 17 on the 17th of August last summer. While at times the workload and stress of the IB program and the high demands and social constructs of high school made life seem all but golden, since beginning at Long Trail School as an 8th grader, I've undergone immense personal growth and a true transformation of character, all for the better. The specialized atmosphere of a close-knit community provided opportunity to build meaningful relationships with teachers and peers. This was then expanded upon with extracurricular experiences, from fall trips, athletics, and art exhibitions to time spent in Montreal, DC, and Germany. I am grateful to have attended a school that has been able to offer me such vast opportunities. And of course, I would never have been able to make it to this point without my personal support system, including my parents, step-parents, grandparents, great friends, and many more. To my mom, thank you for letting me grow as a strong, independent woman that I am, no matter how insensitive I am at times. Nellie, Jimmy, Macy, and Patrick, thanks for always reminding me of my sense of humor. To Kyle and his family, thank you for always making me feel welcome and for being the best second family that I could ever ask for. As I round out my time here at Long Trail, I'd like to close with words of Eleanor Roosevelt. You rarely achieve finality. If you did, life would be over. But as you strive, new visions open before you, new possibilities for the satisfaction of living. Thank you.
Just gonna lower the mic a little bit. A little. When I sat down trying to figure out what in the world I was going to say that would embody my time here at this school, I realized that there was a problem, a few limitations. My speech couldn't be a long list of thank yous, a petty monologue filled with underhand, passive-aggressive digs, a salute solely to the International Baccalaureate program, a 5-minute long passage filled with inside jokes. Couldn't be too long or too short, and most of all, no cheese. The problem is, I have so much to say. So many opportunities I'm grateful for, so many apologies to teachers whose classes I talked through. You know who you are. I am grateful. After brainstorming, I remember my family has a saying that they live by. And I think that is the very epitome of what Long Trail School stands for. Per aspera ad astra. This is a Latin phrase that literally translates as through hardship to the stars. Per aspera ad astra. Through hard work and perseverance, we can achieve great things. As a young child, I didn't really understand what that meant. Through hardship to the stars? That's a difficult concept for a wee one. But now that I'm older and graduating, and have experienced firsthand just how true this motto is, I realize that it is not the most talented people that are the most successful, but the ones who are the hardest working. Well, congratulations to Long Trail seniors and the International Baccalaureate students, because the class of 2017 worked their per aspera ad astras off. In all seriousness, coming to this school was an absolute privilege, and I mean that. I'm taking away so many things that will help me now in the present and in the future, so truly, thank you to those who have made it possible for me to attend this school and succeed. Donors, friends, family, teachers, and to the class of 2017, we have learned through our own procrastination, motivation, and success just how many things we can achieve. And let us take the tools given to us here and apply them wherever we may go.
Well, I'm going to unfold my real speech. So thank you to Deb for typing up the one I didn't read. Good afternoon, all. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ace. I've been here for 5 years. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of awkward phases. I wore a fedora when I first came here. But I've also grown up a lot. Joan says I'm a pretty good kid now, so it means something. And over my 5 years, I've learned a lot of things. Like Charles Strite invented the toaster. Tim told me that I had to mention him, so thank you, Tim, for teaching me that. 8th grade. Another thing I've learned is how strangers become friends and friends become family. So, in the words, and lost my train of thought, sorry. And so I'd like to thank all the moms. I'd like to thank my mom, every other mom that's made sure I'm fed. Thank you, Margaret. And Margaret. So, in the words of Sky Meow, to all you seniors now, dude, just go for it. And so thank you, lastly, to all those who looked at me and said, maybe you'll do something. And in closing, to quote an old hippie band that a few of my teachers taught me, you'll be my Dixie chicken, I'll be your Tennessee lamb. Wrong one. What a long, strange trip it's been, guys.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Oscar, but they also call me O. I came to Long Trail last year for my junior year after being homeschooled for 6 years. Naturally, I was skeptical about returning to a schooling program. The last schooling experience I had was not great. So that's why my mom pulled me out. But after a while, my mom decided that it would be a good idea for me to go back to school. But let's just be honest. It was probably because she wanted me to get out of the house after being there 6 years. My mom and I looked at many schools before coming across Long Trail. When I was having my tour, I saw and was told about so many things that no other school offered. So even after seeing all that, I was still super not excited about the idea of returning to school. After a lot of thinking, I decided I would give it a chance. My first day here was awful, because I wasn't ready to be pushed back into a place where I'd be surrounded by people. When I got back home, my mom said that if I didn't start to like it by the time Christmas came around, I didn't make any friends, then she would pull me out. Unfortunately, she was right. I would say after the first 5 weeks, I met so many cool people here, teachers and fellow students, and slowly but surely I started to fall in love with the school. I would say that my experience here and the people I met will always stay with me, and I will honestly miss this school and everyone in it with all my heart. Thank you.
When my family spontaneously decided to pick up and move to Vermont from Philly 2.5 years ago, the school I would transfer to was of little concern to me. School in general was of little concern to me. Having bounced around from private school to public school and to cyber school in my educational career, I had grown apathetic and disillusioned with the conventional institution of education as a whole. 2.5 years ago, I was dead set on dropping out and getting my GED. 2.5 years ago, attending school for 5 days in a row was a rarity for me. It felt like a tedious chore and an utter waste of time. On a much more optimistic note, however, 2.5 years ago, my life was changed and transformed forever. I transferred to Long Trail in the middle of my sophomore year. Little did I know that its open-minded, familial environment, creative mentality, and awesome people would hugely influence who I am today. Immediately after starting, I picked up on the distinct qualities that make Long Trail what it is and easily explain why so many, including myself, love it. For one, I no longer felt confined in a prison-like classroom where the desks are uniformly laid out in rows against the bleached white, sterile walls. My teachers no longer structured the curriculum to expect memorization and regurgitation over and over again, with some warped idea that such practice enables original thought. Then again, it is an original thought that those schools were seeking in the first place. In the past, I was supposed to be a cookie-cutter student, passive and unassertive. So when I checked out Long Trail and saw how unique each and every person is, it immediately felt like home to me. It stood apart from all those other schools and felt like the most natural place I actually belong in. It's at Long Trail where nonconformity and diversity are truly embraced, where we treat each other with respect as friends and companions and not mere members of an impersonal hierarchy. It's here where I've been not only allowed, but encouraged to pose the craziest questions, thoughts, and ideas. Despite old teachers at old schools implying that I was too unmotivated to get anywhere, my inherent passion and love for learning became apparent when I transferred. Long Trail is where my curiosity was able to expand instead of being shut down. I finally found my voice here, fit in, and thrived. From hanging out in Deb's room to getting quizzed in competitive Kahoot games, go Kylene, painting Harambe on the senior rock, listening to Francois walking through the halls casually playing his violin, getting into deep existentialist debates, and having the occasional discussion about Stalin's mustache, Long Trail has provided me with a sense of belonging that is irreplaceable. It's because of all of you, my teachers, friends, and family, that I've been able to get to where I am today, so thank you.
Good afternoon. It's a tremendous privilege to speak in front of all of you today. This is a tradition unique to Long Trail and a special opportunity to leave a lasting message to those who have impacted my life so greatly. It's very difficult to talk about 7 years in only 2 minutes, and conversely, difficult to find 2 minutes of things I haven't said in 10 years. Being a commencement rather than a graduation, today we look forward to our bright futures. I'm not one for motivational quotes or imparting my own insights. Instead, I'll focus on celebrating the group of outstanding individuals you see on the stage today, thanks to a connection to our incredible faculty. A tremendous thank you is in order to our teachers. I'm thankful for their commitment to the extra mile, for the care they have invested, and the knowledge they have shared. I cherish today as it is a final beautiful day with this wonderful community. And education goes beyond academic, and I must thank you all for this terrific journey.
So, what can I say? It's the end, the grand finale, the home run. It's the point of no return. We've survived years together, some admittedly more years than others, but years nonetheless. Some of my fellow seniors have even been here with me since 6th grade, when we all had the same classes and everyone knew each other personally. We were really small back then. And I want to thank my class now for being such an amazing group of people to graduate with. You've truly made this one of the best experiences I could have hoped for. Over the years, I've had such an amazing time. I've gone through hardships from dealing to life like any team, being especially good at doing things late, to having an astounding record for losing things thanks to my stellar organizational skills. As I look out across the crowd today, I see many people who believed in me no matter what and tried to help me the best they could along the way. I'm thankful to all of you for everything you've done. I wouldn't be here without you. My parents most of all have supported me and made me to be the man I am today. But of the friends I have made throughout my time, there's one who stands out among the rest. Tracy, I'd like to thank you personally for always standing by my side, even when others decided that I wasn't worth the effort and when I decided I wasn't. I'd like to thank you for standing by everyone's side, even when they thought you weren't, or you might have not have thought you weren't sometimes. I'd like to thank you for introducing me to acting all the way from being a little cow that's big moment was rolling over to being on the main stage at Proctor's. I never would have gotten into acting otherwise. I honestly didn't really like acting before I met you. You've taken me from an annoying little 6th grader to a somewhat less annoying 12th grader. Someone who is afraid to talk to people outside of my small group of friends to someone who's comfortable with getting on a stage and making a fool of myself openly. You've truly defined what it means to me when I think of Long Trail School. Supporting everyone you know, no matter what, and putting everyone else before yourself. especially your students. You're an amazing person who will always have a place in my heart, and I wish you the best of luck on the road ahead. I wish all of us the best of luck. We're heading into a new life, one full of uncertainty, mystery, and wonder. We're growing up and soon we'll be adults. I know we'll make the best of it and have a good time while we're at it. And I hope we can all have some enjoyment as we traverse the paths we've chosen to follow.
Hello, everyone. Okay. My name is Joshua Huang. Most of you here knows me as Joshua. And to be honest, this is my first time making a public speech in front of this many people, seriously. And it will be a harder experience, especially after so many great speeches made by my fellow classmates. Okay. Well, but it's not the time to be frightened, because it's nothing compared to what's ahead of me. So let's begin. I come to this country 3 years ago, starting a journey that I know I was not prepared for at all. Some of you might have noticed when I talked to you 3 years ago that I pretty much have just a really nice smile on my face and nod occasionally. Yeah, that was not me being very, very polite. That's me sadly not understanding anything you said. So for those who did know that fact by then, I thank you for continuing to talk to me. 3 years ago, everything here seems strange and far away. I stood alone in the common room, and 3 years later, I know almost everyone and everything in this school. I have a family and my friends. As long as I live, I know that I will never be alone on American soil again.
Yeah.
Long Trail has changed me dramatically, that I barely even recognize myself from 3 years ago. For this, I need to thank all of you that are here and those who could not make it. You all taught me so much that I've become a man I never would dreamed of before I came. I never would have believed I could speak English this well. I never could, known so many magic tricks. Yes, Sam. I would never have a clue that playing drum will be so much fun, and I never would dare to join the drama program. Thank you, Tracy. Almost everything I know and take pride of knowing and doing today is out of my comfort zone once before. And now my journey here at Long Trail School have came to the end. But the trail continues. I was stepping onto a bigger path in college, alone, but making with me all these precious memories of Long Trail experience. Thank you all.
Before I share with you all my thanks, I'd like to share a part of my story here at Long Trail. All of you who have learned to know me here know that for a good part of my time here, I was a bit lost. And it's true. But through time at Long Trail, you truly start to enjoy being surrounded by people who share Long Trail values, and together, all of us have created not only a school, but a community that encourages integrity, openness, friendship, and to keep what has been known around here as Long Trail magic. And it's real. Yet, as I stand before all of you, I'm also faced with this surreal shock that I'm about to step in the next stage of my life. And I can only hope to share with you to share with whoever I may meet in my future endeavors these unique Long Trail values. Even though I have been here for the minimal amount of only 1 year, I want all of you to know, all my teachers and classmates and friends and students, that you've imprinted within me something that I'll cherish forever. So I would like to thank all of you that have enriched my life, all of my classmates that have made it enjoyable, all of the teachers and staff that had to bear with me. Yeah. And finally, a very special thank you to Colin, to whom I attribute my success at Long Trail and has helped me tremendously. I wish you all the very best, and thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I'm going to keep this speech short and to the point, seeing as I'm playing some music for you already. I don't want to keep everyone in high school any longer than necessary. I want to thank my teachers for inspiring me to push myself inside and outside of the classroom. We know IB is a bumpy ride, however, I'm very glad I went through with it. The teachers here truly make Long Trail what it is. I'd like to thank my peers for creating a supportive and healthy school atmosphere throughout the years and for being an all-around great grade. I'd like to thank my family for always supporting me, however difficult it may be at times. I'm not sure I'd be able to, lost myself already. Lastly, I'd like to leave you with a quote that I found while searching for my graduation speech topic, written by Mark Lewis. The person who you're with the most in life is yourself. And if you don't like yourself, you're always with somebody you don't like. I'd like to thank Long Trail for shaping me into somebody I like to be with. I think that is so incredibly valuable, especially heading off into a new world soon, where I'll be changing and questioning myself frequently. I know now that through the thick and thin of the following years, I've started off on the right foot. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I still remember the first time I arrived at Albany Airport. There were 2 Long Trail community members there to pick up the international student at arrival. I feel nervous about starting a new life and excited about meeting my new host family, classmates, and teachers. I met my roommate, another international student who came to study at Long Trail for a year. We soon became friends. We discovered our common interests and discussion-worthy differences. Then I spent more time with the chestnut tangerines. I feel much better right away. I remember Melissa having a very nice tone of voice, telling me everything I need to know about both home and schools. She made me feel better all the time, and she supported me all the time. Later on, I realized that I learned a lot from her during our conversations, and I will always appreciate her helps. Robin's just the nicest man in the world, and will always encourage me to try new things. Thank you. Melissa and Robin are just the best host family ever. That's all I can tell you guys. And I know that when we started to live under the same roof, our lives connected, and I identify them as family. I truly appreciate every moment we spend together. Thank you. I came here alone, but left with all these wonderful memories, and which I then will proudly share with all my international friends. I feel fortunate to have a host I felt fortunate to have host parents like them. Thank you for all you did for me. Overall, I want to thank everyone in the community who played a part in my life here at Long Trail. Those who helped me to be better while I was facing difficult times and hardship. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Jim, Kim, Jill.
and everybody. I want to thank all my family members and friends who support me and who were really able to talk to me when I was feeling lonely. I also wanted to thank the nicest teacher here at Longtrail, actually, Art Talk, who were able to help me in all my courses while I was stuck and overwhelmed. When Steve Jobs was the guest speaker at Stanford's graduation in 2005, he said, "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There's no reason not to follow your heart. Your time is limited, so don't wait it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the result of other people's thinking. Don't let the noises of other people's opinion drown out of your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and institution. Then somehow already know what you truly wanted to become. Everything else is secondary." I would like to encourage everybody to follow your heart. Don't be afraid of trying new things. Take risks, and most of all, be yourself. I wish everybody good luck in the future, and goodbye for now. See you soon.
All right. This day, my high school graduation could have gone one of two ways. I could be seated in an overheated, stuffy auditorium holding close to 1,000 people, waiting in a herd of 200 other seniors who just want to get a diploma and get out. I would hear my name, probably pronounced incorrectly, and get a half-hearted applause from many people that I've never even met before. But high school didn't turn out that way for me. Instead, I'm here in this beautiful setting with classmates that are just as happy to be here as I am, speaking in front of people that I do know and that I know care about me. And that brings me to my first thank you. Mom, Dad, Michael, Kathy, thank you for your commitment to my life and education, and for making sure that I ended up spending these formative years at Longtrail. Your support, both on the scene and behind, financially and emotionally, has allowed me to have the best possible high school experience. Part of what made this so great were the friends and classmates with whom I shared my years here. Whether we have a tight bond or just shared a mutual distaste for a homework assignment, you guys made the tough parts a little bit easier. Speaking of tough parts, to my teachers, I have a few choice words. Just kidding, sort of. Thank you for challenging me and not letting me slip through the cracks when I only gave half my effort. Thank you for reassuring me that I can make it through IB, even if my physics IA was a little late. Of course, not all of my time these past 4 years was spent doing schoolwork. Mikey, didn't think I'd mention you, did ya? Thank you, Mikey, for dragging me away from my work now and again, and for teaching me the responsibility of being a big sister, while also reminding me that having a Nerf gun war is sometimes more important than studying for a terms quiz 3 times over. Megan, Marissa, and Nick, thank you guys for your unconditional love and support, and for your mostly solicited life advice. Well, I think you've heard the words thank you so much that the words have lost all meaning. But after my time spent not only in the school, but also on the soccer field, at home, and with friends and family, I felt it was necessary to thank everyone who made this experience possible and worthwhile. So one last time, thank you.
A close family member once said to me, "When you see a fork in the road, take it." And she is here today. I interpreted this as taking advantage of opportunities that appear in front of me, and it has resonated with me greatly. One second. It's actually gotten a little out of control, so whenever I see a fork, I take it. I can't help myself. I have so many forks. Probably because I work in a restaurant. Sorry, Mark and Mark. In all seriousness, my life thus far has been filled with many forks and paths, some more exciting than others, but nonetheless all filled with unique and unforgettable experiences. I've been exposed to so many incredible people and to the world. and as a result of all of this, I possess a curiosity that yearns to be assuaged. I'm about to go off to college in Illinois, far from home, unsure of what I'll do. Though what I do know is that for the past 4 years, I've known some of the most well-rounded, dedicated, intelligent people. People excited to gain knowledge and experience, and I know that I want that too. Despite the uncertainties of what the future will bring, I am excited about it and ready for it. And I have Long Trail School to thank for providing me with exactly what I have needed to help me uncover this excitement. So I leave all of you today with this. If you see even a hint of a fork, take it. For it could be the opportunity of your life. Just not from the barn, please.
All right. Good afternoon. So I did not write a formal speech. I just wanted to give a bunch of shout outs to people who made my Long Trail experience wonderful. So here we go. So thank you to Nava for humbling everyone in this class with your hard work and kindness. Thank you to Antonio for demonstrating how to always be prepared and utilize your pockets. Thank you to Brendan for showing me the importance of caffeine in one's work ethic. Thank you, Patrick, for your ability to captivate a whole audience with creativity. Thank you, Mikashla, for fueling my need for competition. Thank you, Lindy, for showing the value of honesty and criticism. Kelsey, for the entertainment. You're a highlight reel. Aisha, for always being there to inspire and motivate me. Tim, for an unforgettable analysis of the Cold War. Todd, for relaying the importance of sharing with others. Tess, for dealing with stressed out seniors with sass. Jen, for putting up with my disruptive classmates. Katie, for mentioning shorter classes and breaks when I visited. Kyleen, for finally bringing German to Long Trail. Deb, for all of your support, whether it be on the field, in the court, or on the court, in the classroom. You've always been there for me. Thanks for my art parents, Hawken and Herod, for bringing out the creativity in all of us and getting me through IB art. I was tough, I'm sorry. Dana, for everything you've done, especially this year with our basketball team. Poppy, for being a role model to so many. You've effortlessly gained the love and respect of everyone in this community with your wisdom and virtue. Every girl who stepped out of her comfort zone to join the soccer and basketball teams despite a lack of experience. Your inspiring courage and hard work did not go unnoticed. My mother, Tricia. 5 boys are a lot of work, but we both know I was a lot harder. To my stepfather, Donald, you have become a father to my siblings and I. We cannot be more grateful. And Scotty.
Howdy, everybody. I'd just kind of like to take this time to thank people. That's really the point of all this. I'd like to thank every teacher that I've ever had, and not just at Long Trail and not just in school. To my family, Deb McDonald and Jeffrey G., thank you so much for maintaining a magnificent balance between challenge and friendship. Nothing could really be more important for us right now. I'd also like to thank all my peers. So many other people have said a lot of really great stuff. I won't spend time repeating them, but I'm really grateful to have been in this class, and I look forward to moving on with you and keeping in touch. Thank you again.
I appear to have lost my tassel. happens, but it always seems to happen to me. So and so, speech. One senior seat at Long Trail is usually a time to reminisce about the good old times, to remember everything positive that had happened for me, at least in the past 7 years. However, I think that this type of speech is better performed than someone else other than the self-proclaimed black sheep of the senior class. So I want not to direct my speech at my fellow students, not at my mentors, not at my teachers, nor really anyone else on stage. In fact, I want to address you sitting in the audience. I want to believe that you can hear what I have to say and incorporate it into your life, seeing as this is my 2 minutes of fame. But first, Oscar Wilde. Youth is wasted on the young, he said. And regardless of what Wilde meant when he said this, in my experience, when the statement is used, it acts as a catch-all to deal with one's regret by saying, "Aren't children stupid?" But honestly, children aren't. They're not stupid. While children may not have the insight that some adults do, may not be as knowledgeable as some adults, may not always act in their own self-interest as some adults can, they do not waste away their youth, as those who invoke the wisdom of Wilde would say. I think that Wilde's insight is better rephrased thusly: life is wasted on the living. And this is not to say that life is meaningless or anything of the sort, but simply that the same roadblocks that prevent the youth from living their life to the fullest extent plague those who are older just as much. So, writer Joseph Fink put this idea quite succinctly when he said, "The present tense of regret is indecision." This idea, again with its own contextual meaning, exemplifies the enveloping and oppressive nature of regret and our fear thereof. The terror that we feel over what could be is what Soren Kierkegaard called being lost in the infinite, not truly being able to live because of the universe of options that exist to choose from or to dream about. Therefore, as I said, life is not wasted on the living. Life is wasted on the living, not because of our age, but because of indecision, regret, and fear. But where does this leave us? These 3 emotions are impossible to wish away, as anyone else who's tried knows all too well. As such, we're only able to accept the inescapability of these and make decisions with this understanding. This is to say, when an opportunity for happiness exposes itself, stop at nothing to get it. You may regret that later, but you may very well regret not pursuing that same thing. And there's no way to know what the outcome will be. Referring back to Joseph Fink, the future tense of fear is either comedy or tragedy. This constant pursuit of happiness is what Kierkegaard meant when he talked about becoming an individual, being able to act independently of external forces and do what you want to do for yourself. When he talked about this, he noted several times the insurmountability of this task. And I would be lying if I said I had, in the words of Kierkegaard, become an individual. This task, like wishing away regret and fear, is an impossibility. Yet we, or at the very least I, must still try. So at this point in my life, I'm 17 years old. And there are probably those who are wondering who this young whippersnapper thinks they are trying to lecture all of us around. And there are those younger than me assuming that they are still listening, may or may not have the desire to take unsolicited advice from one who is only a few years older than them. But because of this, I will condense what I've tried to convey, so that you may, should you desire, be able to take it with you. Youth is not wasted on the young, as Wilde would have you believe. However, life can be wasted on the living. Find yourself, and let no one get in the way of you living your life to the fullest extent, even though this goal will forever be out of reach. Thank you.
No pressure. Oh, this one's mine, okay. To start things off, I would like to simply state my uncle was right. After my 8th grade graduation, I got to visit him, and he told me high school would go by really quick. I looked at him, you're wrong, it's school. It'd be boring, slow, it's school. And I lost my place. Aha, found it. Even though these last 4 years have gone by really quickly, I can easily say they've been the best years of my academic life. In my time at Long Trail, I've gotten to know everyone here. I've tried new things, I've been new places, and sure enough, went far out of my comfort zone a lot. There have been times where I've dressed up as a mascot and even put on a pink dress for my friend Ivy. Thank you, Ivy. Many of the seniors here I've gotten to know, whether it was 3 years ago or 12 years ago. I'm truly going to miss you guys. Even if we didn't talk that much, you have shown me no matter what, one can fit in at Long Trail. It's hard saying goodbye to friends I've made, whether it's in first or freshman year. I've made many, many memories with kids, teachers, janitors, kids in Germany, and even people that I've met on school trips. One of my favorite memories that I have is my first fall trip ever. We went bowling, saw a movie, and I even participated in a game on stage with most of the seniors. It was a game where you had to guess something about the seniors. I didn't know any of them, so it was just a little more tricky. After that, we played a game outside in the rain at night, then we slept in the classrooms, where I met some of the people who went on to be some of my best friends. Long Trail was a good school to me, but of course, it wasn't perfect. It's high school. You have your ups and downs. It may haven't been good all the time. Don't age. But it makes me like the better days even more. When it came to school, I thought it was a safe haven for me being myself. I still think that way after the 4 years of being here. Through the years, there have been many people on my side to help me get where I am today. Some of the people are no longer at Long Trail, but they're still in my heart. Some of whom were once teachers and students, and each teacher made it their goal for me to succeed in my classes and go on to do good in the world. For that, I thank you. Thank you for sticking with me when I wasn't the easiest of people, Diane. As I say goodbye to many friends, I just want to say once again, thank you. Each and every one of you has made me the person I am today.
Hiya! Welcome. Thank you for joining us on this momentous and joyous occasion. Today, as we stand and turn the tassels of our caps, not only do we signify academic accomplishment, but the commencement of our new lives. The diplomas we receive are not our reward alone, but a reward for those who helped us along the way. No one achieves anything alone, and it takes a village for one person to succeed. We are forever grateful to those who have spent ages encouraging, supporting, and guiding us through the journey that is high school. From endless hours of language congregation, thanks Francois, learning about how fun economics is, or how to change a tire with Dana. The memories of this experience will stay with us forever. But as we take a hold of our diplomas in one hand and we wave goodbye to our childhood friends with the other, one question remains on our minds. Who will we be in 20 years? When asked that question 10 years ago, it was a fireman, a doctor, a lawyer, or for me, a fairy princess. It hasn't happened yet, but I know it will. As high school graduates, we are asked to seriously ponder that question, but our answers are now less than sure. Now is not the time to make rash or final decisions. Now is the time to make the mistakes. Take the wrong train and get stuck somewhere, or in my case, miss a train altogether. I've asked for a watch for graduation, but I've yet to get one. Take a career in philosophy or whatever you want to major in, because you know that you can make a major out of philosophy. I know you can. You can. Go skydiving, and then as the minute you're about to get on that plane, just talk yourself out of it. Don't do it. Don't. Don't. Now is the time to take chances, to explore the world and find ourselves within something that we never knew was there. Change your mind and then change it again and keep on changing it because nothing is permanent. Explore. By taking chances, when the time comes to answer that question for real, we don't have to guess. We'll know. Thank you.
One second. This one's the most important. It's the seal of approval. I have a dream. Wait a second. That's not my speech. All right. Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date that will live on in infamy. There we go. This one's realized this time, I promise. 77 years ago, nothing happened. If there's anything that teaches us, it's that patterns don't always exist when we want them to, and that past solutions and speeches don't always work in the present. Before I came to this wonderful school, Long Trail, I was homeschooled. This allowed me to learn what I want to cultivate my love of learning, and to help figure out a slew of internal problems for myself. However, I still needed something else. Plus, homeschooling isn't exactly great for getting into colleges. Cue Long Trail. 4 years ago, my dad was on a desperate search for a high school that would fit my sister and me. He looked in my home state, California, but that didn't work. So he extended his search to the entire nation. The product of his search was Long Trail. One whirlwind trip and a skip, hop, and a cross-country move later. And I showed up at Long Trail the very next fall. LTS has helped me grow from what I was into what I am today, into who I am today. It nurtured that love of learning that I gained, and my sense of community, which I also gained. Thanks, Bam. And now, with great regret, I must say that I no longer belong here. My time at Long Trail is done, and it's now time to move on to grander things. I'd like to thank Long Trail and my teachers and my parents for all supporting this strange quest of mine and the weird journey that has transpired along the way. And I'd especially like to thank Deb, who told me not to thank anyone. Of course, LTS wasn't perfect for me. There were struggles and there were pains, but that's part of life. Even LTS isn't perfect, but nothing really is. Nothing really can be. For both an institution and a person, perfection is unattainable. That's no excuse to stop striving for it. Antonio Quevedo, signing off. And I'm taking one with me.
Well, here I am again. After my brother for the second to last time in my life. Standing to speak scintillating sibilant syllables just before I graduate. 4 years, approximately 3,000 miles, and just about a whole world away from myself then and there. It's standing on stage for my 8th grade graduation in the state of golden sunshine. I feel parallels between here and now and there and then. They buzz, so it feels like I'm presently standing in the same exact place I was then. Same time, same place. But two different people. The edges blend and fuse and don't quite fit here and there. In both places, I'm looking forward to a new school that offers me a new beginning in a new state. It'll be an experience I've never had before. People, new knowledge. A school for the next 4 years that appears to promise a new beginning and new opportunities for every dimension of life, social, academic, artistic. Some things cause these edges to stand out, and most obviously I'm 18 now, not 14. I'm moving the next state over and not across Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Pennsylvania, New York, across the entire alphabet from CA to VT. For another, the me themselves, or the me myself, is different. I'm different. Well, I'm still the poetry girl, the one who maybe isn't waxing quite so poetically as some of you might have anticipated, but I'm definitely still a candle. My spark still burns. People I've met, the friends I've made, teachers I've had, lessons I've learned, and everything else added to my life since
has contributed to who I am now. The stage, on, off, and around it. The people, on, off, and around it, particularly Tracy. Through music, theater, poetry, and so much more. It's odd how often I've been thinking of this moment, envisioning it. Now it's here, trickling through my fingers. Something so brief, anticipated for so long, and to be remembered for far longer. This entire scene, the vibrant grass, how green it looks against the white of the tent, its warm, wet aroma, people looking back at me, a lot of them, people I know and people I don't, family, friends, teachers, all past now. The loftiness and the movement when the wind fills the tent. You might say it's full of triumph and dreams, perhaps some bitterness and sorrow, bittersweet joy. How I revel in the bittersweet. That's probably why the chocolate chip cookie is my favorite. This moment is like a chocolate chip cookie, you know, to be savored, but a moment like any other, a moment that will soon melt in my mouth and be gone. Though it's nice while it lasts, and will be nice to think about later. I want a cookie now. There isn't much to say at a party. Oh, I could tell stories. Remember the good times? There were many. Tell about hijinks, inside jokes, bonding experiences that I've shared with the people sitting before and behind me. Thanks to this school, or I could recall something that I was taught that I will never, ever forget. I have a lot of those too. Or I could thank my family, or thank those who know the impact they've had on me, and those who might not be so aware. Those who have no idea that by their mere existence they've shaped my experience here. Maybe I should pick a quote, try to think of something memorable, to make myself stick out in this sea of faces, this sea of sticky sweet sentimentality. Or I could talk to you about who I am now, write a letter to my freshman year self, to the excited but understandably scared 8th grade graduate about to step into a life she's never known. Yeah, I could do any of that. But perhaps the most realistic thing I've ever done is not to try to describe what it feels like to part, to leave. Not try to talk about dreams or memories or the high lofty things that we can hardly pin down with words. But to do what I do best, focus on now. Smell of the air, the grass, and the water, the bittersweet excitement, thinking about the triumph of this moment over the last 4 years, and the triumphs that are waiting in the years to come. Looking forward and looking back, knowing where I'm going and where I've never been, and leaving something that is gone. And when I think of it that way, there's only one word that fits the occasion. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Good afternoon. Sorry. The time has finally come where I am that senior sitting on stage, waiting impatiently to finally graduate. There are so many people that have helped me along the way that I can't even begin to thank them all. Long Trail was not always easy for me, and many people played a significant role in getting me before you today. I do know that this was the right home for me now for the last 7 years. For all of you who have helped me edit a paper, gave me countless rides home, coached me on the fields and courts, advised me about life, helped me get through middle school, a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart. For you who fed me, clothed me, and for the last 6 years filled my house with foreigners, there are no words. My debt is immeasurable. Once again, I would like to express my gratitude to everyone who helped me be here today. Thank you.
I'd like to thank my family, my grandparents, dear Connor, my beautiful siblings, Claire and Kieran, and of course my parents, Mark and Donna. They have created immersive and holistic models by which to make a life from nothing through not only words but actions, because the lives they have led are remarkable. And though I'm only with them through happenstance, I'm glad to be so. So thank you very much. I'd be remiss to not thank teachers of years past who are no longer here, namely Aaron Duffy, Nate Merrill, Melissa Chestnut Tangerman, Sally Leonard, John Suter, and the many things I learned about life and literature from the late great Jim Gedney. Yeah. Also, teachers who are here, Deb for everything, hanging out, sparking my intellectual drive by making it fun, letting me borrow books. Thank you. Tim Smith, you're the realist in the game, and I'll never forget the time you took for me to help me and the love you have. So thank you for that. World War II Weapons Project too. François, mes plus profonds remerciements pour votre vertu et tout le restant. À bientôt. Tracy Wesley, what an artist, what an individual. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to grow so much as a person and as an artist like yourself. And the whole cast, the entire casts of Silenced on Barber Street, Godspell, The Sound of Music, and especially Elephant's Graveyard for creating art with me in a meaningful way. Thanks. And last but most, my mentor and close friend and collaborator, Jeffrey G. I'll never forget all of you. Love you. I thank friends now, too. I've had the privilege of knowing each member of the senior class here very well, which is the benefit of going to a school of this size. We encompass a broad range of personalities, and being with you all has been experiential. It's given me a lot to think about, and it's made coming to school enjoyable, so thanks. And I especially thank my closest friends, Jonah, Sam, Brennan, and Jason, just for everything. We progressed into life the better because we knew each other, so thanks. Shout out to Delia for helping me a lot in middle school and helping me become like a person, so thanks. I thank Griff, Jake, and Coleman for keeping the hang alive in our absence. Bless. And a special shout out to Charlie McVicker. Charlie, you're one of the purest, most beautiful, and most smart people I've ever met, and I'll always remember you. So thank you. Keep doing what you do. Keep listening to good bands and being who you are, and you'll never fail. Thanks. So the full extent of everybody is kind of impossible to summarize, so I'll stop thanking people. But I have some parting words. If you find something or someone that you're innately passionate about, you must pursue it, even if it means anything else gets thrown aside, because if you don't, you will regret it. Apply yourself to each endeavor and keep humor and the ability to communicate and the ability to find the good in things at the forefront of your life, and high school will be a good time for you. And finally, if you're going to get in trouble, do it in middle school so it doesn't show up on your high school transcript. Thank you very much.
When I chose to attend Long Trail School over returning to Rutland Middle School for my 8th grade year, I was taking a chance. A big one. I was by no means unhappy in the Rutland school system. I did well in school, and I had good friends. However, when I visited Long Trail in all my awkward 7th grade glory, braces and bangs included, I immediately felt welcomed into the chaotic community, and met people who would remain my friends throughout high school. The ways in which Long Trail has challenged me during my time can be sorted into two categories: academic and other. As a student, I feel as if I've had the opportunity to become responsible and prepared for college in the fall through the IB program, although there were times where I felt that the effort required was too much to bear. The other category is obviously more of a mixed bag. I've had ups and downs with friends, and I've struggled with the type of self-esteem issues that seem to plague most teenagers. Despite these challenges, I am proud to stand at this podium today and give this speech, as public speaking has never been the easiest thing for me, clearly. I tend to overthink everything I'm going to say, although I have been able to work on it a bit as a student here. I'd like to take a moment to thank my teachers and friends for being there every step of the way. My family in particular has always been there for me.
and taught me everything I value. Mom, who taught me compassion and responsibility. Dad, who taught me to advocate for my beliefs. Andrew, who taught me unyielding happiness. And Chris, who taught me to do my own thing. I'd like to leave you all today with a quote from the inspirational, tenacious Frida Kahlo, whose portrait I've just painted on the art room ceiling for my final project. Al final del día podemos aguantar mucho más de lo que pensamos que podemos. Or in English, at the end of the day, we can endure much more than we think we can. Thank you.
Is this precision right? All right, never mind. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tony Wang. The last time I delivered a graduation speech was at the end of kindergarten, with a childish tongue and a sophomoric understanding. I reflected on how fast and unnoticed the time had passed. It started like this. Time is like a bird. Tick tock, it flies forward. Today we graduated, tomorrow we will enter the primary school. Yeah, it's very simple. However unqualified my resignation seems to be at that age, the words still hold true, except the primary school should be replaced by university now. Time did pass by very fast. It has been more than 10 years since I graduated from kindergarten and started my formal education. In retrospect of the past decade that seems all too ephemeral, my identity changed in the most dramatic way. From its external position to the very nuances of my personality. I traveled from China to America. I became more and more independent. I came to a better understanding of myself, my interests, my dispositions, and my desires. In short, I am able to articulate my existence and the world more clearly than ever. And it has been the last 3 years I spent at Long Trail that influenced me more than anything else. As the Chinese proverb goes, it is better to travel 10,000 miles than to read 10,000 books. The journey was doomed to be an exciting one from the beginning. The neatly arranged cottage viewed from the descending airplane, the strong smell of perfume in the airport, and the yellow school bus that picked us up, all seemed so foreign to me. Despite the cultural difference, I found my niche here and made friends with a group of people who share the same interests with me. We communicated freely across the cultural barrier and learned from each other. In academics, thanks to the supportive faculty here, I was able to persist through the IB Diploma program. The program allowed me to have an in-depth study of humanities and literatures, which I found as enjoyable as the STEM subjects I focused on in China. Complementing the worldview I adopted in China, Long Trail education shaped me into a more well-rounded being. Life outside of the school is equally enriching. Being alone in another country challenged both my resilience and my self-reliance. I'm most grateful to my two host moms, Deb and Beth over there. They took me when I was in great difficulty, and they taught me how to behave in the real world. For example, to be prepared all the time, as Deb taught me. Most importantly, I owe lots of thanks to my parents. My mom is here, who trusted me and were willing to take the risk of pushing me off the cliff as an analogy of how eagles train the youngsters to fly and hence become independent. My 3 years in America correlate to one notion I long held. The more an experience interests a person, the faster time seems to pass by. But as it has always been said, the quality of life is not to be judged by its longevity, but its depth. The short time I spent in Long Trail etched a deep mark on my being. I thank everyone who was a part of this amazing experience for me. And I wish both myself and my classmates to make the best of the college life. Thanks.
So I actually started writing a speech here in like 6th grade. Like I knew that this was kind of the place for me. It was like a special place and more special people. I feel like I should be presenting myself here with a sign or something that says "brought to you by." If you have an ad, Because people aren't really self-built, and that's what a lot of high school is, character built. People are slowly assembled, piece by piece, day by day, with the influence of everyone around them. Everyone has had a lot of construction workers that assisted in assembling them to this point. I know I certainly did. So I'm here today to thank them. Thanks to my parents for always pushing me to achieve greater heights and for continuously compelling me to persevere over these past 7 years, even longer. Thanks to my grandparents for providing an endless supply of love and compassion. Thanks to my friends for always being around, for always being engaging and entertaining, and for caring about me. Thanks to all of you who have ever taught me over my time here at Long Trail. I'd like to thank a handful of educators in particular. Deb, thank you for letting the seniors basically live in your room this year. And thank you for giving us a magnificent amount of encouragement always. And when occasionally necessary, discipline. Tim, thank you for providing myself and numerous others with fantastic trips and experiences all around the country, and for opening my eyes to the wonder of the study of history. I'm looking forward to our departure for the Northwest US in just a few days. Francois, I thank you first and foremost for putting up with me for all these 7 years. I don't envy your position in that respect. Some of those years were quite rough. But more importantly, thank you for inspiring me with a love and appreciation of the French language and culture, of which I have every intent to continue exploring and studying. Then over 7 years, well, a little more really, I think I was doing summer camps here around like age 5, 6, 7, 8, I don't know. I guess that makes me a lifer plus a little extra. And over the past 7 years, I've spent in the company of all these incredibly talented, practiced, dedicated, intelligent, and creative people behind me. Without each other, I don't think any one of us would have made it to this stage. I credit this success to them most of all.
And now we'll hear from Patrick Staples, Jonanette Wilson, and good grief. Sorry, no, I lost it. And Sam McVicker performing Away.
Displaced, our sky belied, no grace is saved, a life is to be lied to me, with me again. Dodged me through a daffodil and looked me over and said, say I've had enough. Said, say I want more, said, say I want yours. Turn about and face the sun. Turn your multitudes to one.
Row 7 to come up and give our alumni a welcome. Isaac?
Good afternoon. The last Long Trail student you'll be hearing from today. So first of all, I'd like to offer my personal congratulations to all of you. This is a pretty big deal. So today we gather for your commencement. You spent a good deal of time speaking of fond memories and giving thanks to those who've helped you to this point. But it's my role today to nudge our collective lives towards your future. So commencement, as it was said before, means beginnings. This ceremony, while serving as a conclusion for your time as a student at Long Trail, really marks the beginning of your next chapter. You'll take what you've learned in this one, your academic knowledge, your moral character, your ability to lead a community, and bring it with you into the world. You'll burst forth from this oversized schoolhouse in this idyllic valley and begin to make your dent in the universe. And as you go and become leaders and change makers, you'll carry with you this mark of your time at Long Trail, this enduring and unshakable curiosity, compassion, and drive that has been cultivated in all of us by this place and by the people who dedicate themselves to teaching here. You are the 42nd class to go out into this world bearing this unmistakable mark of Long Trail School. You join a group of alumni held together by this common past that extends from our corner of Vermont across the globe. Just like our alma mater, we are a small group doing big things, and we all have high hopes for you. We hope that as you push the world forward, you take the time to come back and share your experiences and wisdom. We hope that as we will gladly help you on your journey, you will one day help future Long Trail graduates on theirs. And finally, we hope that you achieve all the success that you desire and all that you deserve. We wish you all the best. So with that, I'd like to officially welcome the class of 2017 to the Long Trail Alumni Association.
And the time we've all been waiting for, the presentation of the diplomas. Lily Ann Burnham. Alain Henri Bertenbois. Oscar Cameron Corky. Nava Frisk. Evan David Frum. Connor Scott Eastman. Chen Chao Joshua Wong. Cedric Reinhardt Justice Jacob. Jonah Sky Knapp Wilson. Donyu Ivy Liu. Michaela Christine Materos. Ashley Elizabeth Maines. Courtney Bird McGowan. Joseph Samuel McVicker III. Brennan Murphy. Sean Edward Rupert Novak. Bailey Elizabeth O'Donnell. Antonio Luis Quevedo. Lydia Isabel Quevedo. Liam Garrett Sheldon. Patrick James Staples. Catherine Rose Trombetta. Tiancheng Tony Wang. Jason Henry Wilborn. And as the final part of their graduation, I'd ask the graduates to stand. And it's time to move their tassel from the right to the left.
ask everybody to have a seat for just one more minute. A long-standing tradition of Long Trail is the ringing of our bell, one time for each one of our graduating students. So now I'll ask that Dana ring the bell.